Hello everybody, and here we are with the Dan and Andy diaries. So we've just had our last full day in Costa Rica, and we just want to talk about the couple of tours that we did in the time here. The first one being the kayaking through the mangrove forest. So, as usual, I have a very special guest. It's Dan.
Hola.
So, Dan, the kayaking through the mangrove forest adventure.
Yeah.
So, it was great, wasn't it?
Amazing.
As usual, they pick you up, they take you there, where you get a drink and some fruit. And then you get your guide takes you to your kayaks. We all get in the kayaks, and then he will take you round the whole of the mangroves, explaining a lot of fascinating facts about the place, and you get to see quite a few different animals and insects and things there as well.
Yep.
So how did you find that, Dan?
It was amazing, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The company we went with were called Iguana Tours, and I highly recommend you doing a Google search for them. And they operate in the Manuel Antonio area. They do other stuff too, so they do other tours as well. But part of their itinerary is the kayaking through the mangroves, and they're very, very, very good. The guide was great. We had lunch as well. It was really, really good morning, well organized, very safe, and a beautiful area.
And to be honest, all the guys we've had for everything have been good, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
They know their stuff, they're friendly,
Yeah,
and it's a great learning curve for, if you're not familiar with all of those things.
Yeah, it was really...
But it was good being on the water. I love being on the water in any type of boat. So...
and it was really peaceful, wasn't it?
Oh, completely.
Like, you couldn't hear a thing. Like, all you could hear was your paddle in the water. It was just so
and the insects
and the animals.
Yeah. So we did see a few animals there. There was various birds. Did we see a monkey?
We didn't see a monkey.
Didn't see a monkey.
Saw the crabs.
Crabs, yeah.
The birds.
Birds. Did we?
The iguana.
Iguana, yeah. But well recommended.
Yeah.
So that was on the first day.
Yeah.
And then we came back and we had some amazing Costa Rican food as usual. We went and we popped down.
They gave us lunch, didn't they, after the tour? That was the casado, wasn't it?
A casado
that was
lunch.
Beautiful, delicious.
It was really nice lunch.
That was included as part of
Yeah, it was.
Really nice.
And then in the evening, we just went down the beach, didn't we?
We did. We saw the sunset.
And we saw the sunset, took lots of nice pictures of the sunset, and it was brilliant.
Beautiful.
And we saw monkeys.
Yes, we saw the
monkeys. White-faced monkeys, which is, what's their proper name, the white-faced monkeys?
White-faced capuchin.
Capuchin, that's it. So we saw them, and they were in and out of the bins, obviously trying to get all the bits that are in the bins and that, but they're quite mischievous monkeys. Anyway.
Yeah, so the beach is called Espadilla. That's the public beach in Manuel Antonio. The other beaches are only accessible through the national park.
Yes. Which brings us on to day two. Day two.
Yeah.
Two.
My favourite day.
It was, where we went to the national park. So again, we were picked up from the hotel and taken to the national park, which wasn't far from here actually. Again, the guide was brilliant. He knows his stuff. He was friendly. He was informative. He took us around the national park. He had one of those telescope things, which it goes really close into any creatures you see and takes fantastic pictures. So, what did we see in the park, or what didn't we see? I think is probably a better thing.
And one thing I will say about the guide is that I highly, highly recommend doing the park with a guide.
Yeah.
I can't imagine walking around without the guide, because there's animals that you wouldn't have even known were there.
Yeah.
That you would not have even seen or even known to look for. Whereas the guides just know where they are, where they're going to be hanging out, what to look for. And I mean, we saw so many animals. And I mean, the tour was what, 2 hours, 2.5 hours?
Something like that, yeah.
And I mean, we saw what, 4 sloths?
4 sloths, and we saw sloths moving.
Yeah.
It's hard to catch the sloths actually moving because they just sleep for 16 to 20 hours a day. So that was good, you know. Another thing on the guides, they also, other guides that are there, they also let each other know, oh, there's one up there, just, you know, so they do keep each other informed as well of any animals. But we saw sloths, we saw, what else did we see? We saw
monkeys.
We saw 2 varieties of monkeys, the howling monkey and the, what was that one?
White-faced capuchin.
White-faced capuchin. We saw various lizards. We saw iguanas, a green-headed iguana, black iguanas. We saw, what's the one?
The Jesus Christ lizard.
The Jesus Christ lizard. And the reason it's called Jesus Christ lizard is because it can walk across water.
It can run across water.
Or run across the water, yeah. So we saw various lizards.
The frog, the poisonous frog.
A milk frog, which is very toxic.
My favourite, the toucan.
The toucan. We saw the toucan, which is one we wanted to
beautiful bird.
Really see. Macaws.
Macaw.
We saw, oh, what was that? A deer. A really small.
Oh yeah, the deer thing.
It's a really tiny little deer.
And that other little rodent-y thing.
The rodent-y thing, which I can't remember the name of. Was it a guto?
A goatee.
A goatee.
A goatee or something.
A goatee, but it looks like a rodent, but it's not a rodent. But it's a lot.
Yeah, it's like a big version of a rodent.
Bigger than any rodent.
Yeah, like a capybara.
We didn't see any raccoons, did we?
Didn't see a raccoon. No. We didn't see the crocodiles or the caiman.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. We saw mostly everything else. It was amazing.
There was some various birds as well, which like smaller birds.
The hummingbirds.
The hummingbirds, which we
saw. It's hard to get a photo of them because they move so fast.
So quickly, yeah. But I did get some video footage in Monteverde though.
Yeah.
So. And then after you've done the tour with the guide, you can stay there as long as you want up until they close, which we did. And they also have in the reserve, which you can only get to through coming in the reserve, their fantastic beaches.
Yeah, Playa Manuel Antonio.
Yeah.
And they are incredible beaches there. I mean, so Playa Manuel Antonio was voted #1 beach in the world a few years back. Yeah. And you can definitely see why.
Yeah.
It is literally ocean meets the jungle.
It is. And it looks amazing.
It does. It's beautiful.
And I mean, there's less people on that beach because you can only get to it within the reserve.
Yeah, so the park limit the amount of people per day that they allow in to protect it, to keep it protected.
Yeah.
And I think I read it was 600. So only 600 people a day during the week are allowed access to the park. Mm-hmm. So if you want to visit Manuel Antonio, I would highly recommend pre-booking your tickets too.
Yeah.
To ensure that you can get in.
Which you could say about any of the tours, really.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we're not here in peak time, so
no,
it's a little bit easier. But ours were all pre-booked, so I highly recommend doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, Manuel Antonio is well worth a visit.
It is. The water's amazing. It's warm, of course.
It's very humid.
And it's very humid. But also with the beach, the water, the current is quite strong. So if you had children, you'd have to watch them because the waves come in, you get some quite big waves, and then they drag you out again when the water goes out. So you've got to be quite. I lost my cap, didn't I?
You did.
I had my cap on to stop my head burning, and those massive waves just came over me, threw me all over the place, and then I come out of the water with no hat, and I couldn't see it floating anywhere, so I had to buy a Costa Rica hat instead.
Nice. Yeah, Manuel Antonio, well worth a visit.
Definitely. Got to be done. And then finally, when we came out, we went to a restaurant which was recommended by the guide. Apparently all the locals go there because it's one of the cheapest places in town and the food's really good. So we went there on his recommendation and wow, what a meal we had. We had a casado, didn't we?
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was a casado burrito or no? Fajita. Casado fajita, and I've got to say it was the best casado we've had since we've been here. The food was superb, and the beans that you get with the rice, which you get with most Costa Rican meals. It was the best beans I'd ever tasted since
delicious.
we've been here as well. So yeah, a big shout out to them. It's right next to the entrance to the park.
Yeah.
So, and it's what's it called again?
Restaurante Donde Alex.
That's it. Restaurante was it Dondi or
Dondi D.
Dondi Restaurant Dondi Alex. If you ever come this way,
Yeah.
superb food
Well worth a visit.
and very friendly waiters.
Have the cosado.
So and then we bought a couple of things in the souvenir shop, and then we came back to the hotel.
Yeah.
And we just chilled really, because it's quite tiring doing all these tours and things. It does make you tired because you're up early and stuff. So we just had a chill night that night. And yeah, and that was it really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then we just got up this morning.
I highly recommend Manuel Antonio for a stop if you're in Costa Rica. I can see why it is the #1 national park to visit.
Yeah, superb.
Beautiful.
It's just amazing, actually. It's all right saying to you, talking about, oh, you know, it's amazing to see all the animals, but when you're actually here to see them, I mean, it's just so got to be done.
You know, you might think, oh, it's such a small park, and it is on paper. It's not a massive area of park, but my God, is it compact? Does it pack a punch?
Yeah.
It is beautiful. The amount of wildlife in that small area,
Yeah.
and the beauty of the beaches and the ocean and the jungle is just something else. Really pretty.
It is, yeah. So so that's it for this little catch up, and watch out for we're doing an overall talk on Costa Rica. We'll be doing one on as well, so watch out for that one as well. So until then,
Adios amigos. Hasta luego.
adios.